your nomination, did you notice that people from the left were pretty much cheering you on?
A lot of people were cheering me on, Senator.
That's true.
Yeah, that didn't really go anywhere. It's actually a through line for a lot of Senator Lindsey Graham's questioning of Ketanji Brown Jackson. He had a lot of things he was trying to accomplish, but it all kind of just fell flat. It did, however, along the way, get pretty questionable, pretty cringe. Take a look at this line of questioning.
What faith are you, by the way?
Senator, I am Protestant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Non-denominational.
Okay. Could you fairly judge a Catholic?
Senator, I have a record of
I think the answer would be yes.
Judging everyone.
I believe you can. I'm just asking this question because how important is your faith to you?
Senator, personally, my faith is very important. But as you know, there's no religious test in the Constitution under Article 6.
Okay, so a lot of people had a problem with Lindsey Graham. That, by the way, is not the full thing. It's Karen, can you fairly judge a Catholic? On a scale of 1 to 10, how faithful are you? How would you feel if people said that you were too religious? He just went on and on, Ida. And he had sort of a point, he thinks. But what do you think about that sort of line of questioning for Ketanji Brown Jackson?
I mean, if it was applicable to Amy Coney, what's her name? I can't remember.
Amy Coney Barrett.
I forget the handmaid that's on our Supreme Court. But I mean, can she properly judge a Protestant? I mean, because she's an extreme Catholic and she belongs to a subsect of Catholicism that is pretty extreme. You know what? Like I said, I'm focusing on the love, and I'm also staying away from generalizations because I think that what they do is absolve people of their responsibility. The continuous talk that all white women and all white men are the same it just keeps the people who are doing bad stuff from being held accountable when we sweep them all into this thing. Let's just be real about this. There are a lot of men who are having a meltdown because women are doing well and succeeding in spite of all of the things that they've had to endure throughout history. Now you add insult to injury and the person is Black and these men are having a meltdown that these people that have decided to be excellent. And when I say these people, I'm talking about my people, all of the people who are the descendants of slaves who have, in spite of all of the things that have been thrown our way, and it gets worse as you get darker. So let's just be real about that. And still to be excellent and standing in the presence of all of them who've had all the privilege in the world and have the opportunities to be where they are, the people who have, in spite of everything, arrived at the same place, they're just having a meltdown. And these old school, sexist, racist men in our political, orbit and world have caused so much damage, and now this is their last hoorah because they don't even know what to do anymore. Like his line of questioning is downright stupid. Nobody wants to say it. It's not that it's provocative or it's or he's really he really got her. It's just dumb and it's so on brand with him because there are so many questions that they should be asking her that could be provocative and pertinent. And they are focusing on dumb stuff. Sorry, I'm just.
I actually have compiled a list of a few of those questions, actually, which we're going to turn to in a little bit. But Lindsey Graham is definitely an example of the sort of person that you're talking about, who just looks around and doesn't understand the world around him, doesn't like it to the extent that he understands it, and just doesn't know what to do with his remaining years. And the insult to injury was definitely on display. He didn't get her. He would say he wasn't even trying to, because you might have gathered from all those questions, he had no interest in Ketanji Brown Jackson. He kept saying, I have no doubt that you would be able to judge a Catholic. All of that was building to, and so wasn't it mean when they asked Amy Coney Barrett all these questions? Well, they're different women with different histories. And look, some people might be really magnanimous, like Ida, just focus on the love and not be worried about that. For some of the senators, though, they felt like, look, asking any religious person whether their particular religious experience makes them incapable of judging a certain sort of person. That's the sort of generalization that I agree with. It doesn't make any sense. But we can find some people whose life experience statements, groups they've been members of, those sorts of things might raise a little bit of concern. Like, for instance, let's just switch it to another example. I don't think that asking any Supreme Court nominee if they've ever gotten drunk and sexually assaulted someone makes a lot of sense as a generalization. But there are some whose history makes that kind of an important sort of question to ask. So Lindsey Graham is not only disrespecting Ketanji Brown Jackson by making the hearing that will elevate her to the Supreme Court all about his grievances about other people. She doesn't have anything to do with Amy Coney Barrett. She wasn't a part of that, or with Kavanaugh.
That's right.
So it's a big waste of time. It's grievance. It's like him just working out that he was mad that the country didn't love their radical nominees that they put on the court a couple years ago.
Yeah, and you know what? They had a godless president. Let's just be real about what has happened in this country. We all have collective trauma for what we've just experienced in the last few years and are still going through at the hands of Donald Trump. You didn't question his religiousness or when he was talking about grabbing women by their parts. You didn't question his observing the doctrine of the Lord when he was talking about all of the things that he did that were just unchristian-like. So it's just amazing to me that the people who were running around with their hands in Donald Trump's pocket, following him around like little puppies and pets, now want to be the upstanding religious people upholding the Lord's word when they didn't even care about that for the last few years. Look at the stuff that happened in this country.
Yeah. By the way, the grievances that he's working out, like, let's not forget, Kavanaugh's on the court. Amy Coney Barrett is on. You got your alleged sexual assaulter. You got your alleged religious zealot. It's not even like he's still burned by the fact that they got rejected. They're on there. Like, when Roe v. Wade gets overturned in the next year, Amy Coney Barrett's signature is gonna be all over that. What are you mad about? It's bad enough that the system is so rigged that people like him, the movement that he's a part of, is just so benefited that it dominates our society, our government, our economy, all of that. But then they whine about their position of dominance. That's insult to injury right there. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.